pleasant day to all my grade 11 students. Welcome to Senior High School. I am Ma'am Denilyn Pangilinan and I will be your teacher in Oral Communication in Context subject. Let us have a quick walkthrough on what you are about to learn on this subject.
In Oral Communication in Context, we are going to explore everything about communication. We will learn about the nature, models, elements, and functions of communication, types of speech context and speech style, principles of effective speech delivery, and many more.
For our first lesson, these are the objectives. First, describe the nature of communication. Second, identify the functions of communication in different situations. And third, explain the elements and process of communication.
Let us define communication. Mac Cornack in 2014 defines communication as a process of sharing and conveying message or information from one person to another within and across channels, context, media, and cultures.
Now let us discuss the nature of communication. Communication is a process. This process involves creating and sharing ideas, information, views, facts, and feelings among people to reach a common understanding. Communication occurs between two or more people. Communication can be expressed through written or spoken words, actions, or what we call the nonverbal, or both spoken words and nonverbal actions at the same time. Now let us go over the functions of communication. There are basically 5 functions of communication. These are regulation or control, social interaction, motivation, emotional expression, and information dissemination. In regulation or control, communication functions to regulate or control a person's behavior. For example, the teacher is giving instructions to a class. A friend is giving an advice, and a parent making his or her child choose. Next is social interaction. Communication is used to create and strengthen bonds and relationships and allows individuals to interact with others. Examples are making a new friend and giving an invitation. Next is communication functions to motivate or encourage people to live better. Fourth, communication is used to express one's preferences, feelings, emotions, wants, and needs. And lastly, communication functions to convey and spread information. Now that we have learned the nature and functions of communication, let's look at what makes up the communication process. In order to successfully communicate, it is important to understand the process of communication. This diagram shows the basic steps. The speaker or sender develops an idea to be sent. The speaker or sender then encodes the idea or converts it to words or actions. The speaker transmits or sends out the idea using a specific medium or channel. The receiver gets the message and decodes it or interprets it. The receiver provides or sends feedback. Let us discuss further the elements in the process of communication. Sender. The sender is the one who initiates the message that needs to be transmitted. He sends the message that may be in different forms such as pictures, symbols, postures, gestures, or even just a smile. After generating the idea, he sends it in such a manner that can be understood clearly by the receiver. Message. Message refers to the information intended to be communicated by words, as in speech, letters, pictures, or symbols. It can be verbal or non-verbal. It is the content the sender wants to convey to the receiver. Encoding. It is the process of expressing the idea into appropriate medium. It may be verbal or non-verbal. The sender may put the message into a series of symbols, words, pictures, or gestures. Channel. It refers to the medium or passage through which encoded message is passed to the receiver. It may be transmitted through face-to-face communication, telephone, radio, television, memorandum, or computer. Receiver.
Receiver refers to whom the message is meant for. He plays a significant role in the communication process like the sender. He needs to comprehend the message sent. Decoding. It means translating the encoded message into a language that can be understood by the receiver. After receiving the message, the receiver interprets it and tries to understand it. Feedback. It refers to the response of the receiver to the message sent to him or her by the sender. Feedback ensures that the message has been effectively encoded and decoded. Noise. It is a hindrance to communication. It can take place at any step in the entire communication process. There are various types of noise. The physical, physiological, and psychological noise. Examples of physical noise are loud music, an irritating sound of an engine of a machine, or a classmate who talks to you while the teacher is giving a lecture. Physiological noise is when the body becomes the hindrance to communication, such as headache, toothache, or hunger. Psychological noise refers to qualities in us that affect how we communicate and interpret others, such as prejudice and any feeling that can interfere with communication. Noise is considered as a barrier to effective communication.
And that ends our discussion on the nature, function, elements, and process of communication. I really do hope that you had fun learning from home. You may now answer the following activities provided on your printed modules. See you again next time. Keep safe, everyone.